Welcome to this edition of Karriem and Company, episode number 4.
And we thank God for each and every one of you all and you all's support. And we invite you to continue to support us and to hit the subscribe button when you view us on YouTube and on Facebook.
Today we'll be discussing topics such as spending habits in the African American community.
Also upward mobility and how we have the lack of, and how we need some sort of initiative to motivate our youth.
Absolutely. And closing out, we're going to talk about Bloody Sunday. Bloody Sunday, 55 years ago, it kicked off from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama, a 54-mile stretch.
Right, and by the way, you mentioned that one of our congressmen, who was one of the leaders of that march as a young man, he is not able to attend those ceremonies this time because of the stage 4 prostate cancer.
Right, John Lewis. John Lewis.
The legendary John Lewis.
And we'd like to hear from you. Join us this edition of Karriem and Company as we come back. A few housekeeping rules for today. First of all, if you love this channel, we hope you do, please subscribe, hit the like button, and hey, tell someone to join in on Karriem and Company.
And you also can write us with your questions, your calls, your comments, and where can they send them to?
They can send them to 708 15th Street North, 708 15th Street North, Columbus, Mississippi. Make sure you zippity-doo-dah that thing, 39701.
And if you have a matter of urgency, you can always give us a call, 662-435-3732 or 491-1683. Don't forget the 662 area code exchange if you're calling us from somewhere around the world or across the country.
Absolutely. Well, jumping with both feet in, man, you know, this is tax season. A lot of people will be getting income taxes back. However, we know that those taxes doesn't stay in our neighborhood but 6 hours. That money only generates only 6 hours according to Wharton School out of Penn State University.
I'm going to do it like Memphis Slim. Look here, man. We're doing stupid stuff with our money. We're partying. We're buying out the liquor store. We're buying up the crack house. And in just less than 3 hours, we don't have anything to show for our tax money.
Yes. And just to break that down so we can make it plain, Asian community, their money circulates for a total of 1 month. The Jewish community, 20 days.
20 days.
Caucasian community, 17 days.
And wait, before you drop the bomb on them, that means that money's circulating and generating around the community. It's still in the community. It's not out of the community.
Absolutely. And guess what? In our community,
1 hour?
6 hours.
6 hours?
6 hours in our community.
I think it's less than that. I think by the time that we go and cash the check, Walmart's got it all.
Yes. Liquor store.
The liquor store's got it all. The dope man surely got it all.
And the weave shop.
And the hair shop, the weave shop. But you know, we're adjusting, but it's a very, very crisis type issue because we have all of this disposable income that is not being properly disposed of.
Yeah, in the turn of the century, we had less than 2% of our population owning wealth or millionaires. Guess what that number is today?
What?
Less than 2%.
Less than 2%. Out of a $1 trillion economy.
Absolutely. We make up 14% of the population. Less than 2% of every dollar spent by African Americans stay or given back to black community.
And that's just on a national scale. When we look at Mississippi, where we're broadcasting from, when we look at the state of Mississippi, one of the poorest states in the USA, and you're looking at the average median income is around $16,000 to $18,000. That is way below the poverty line.
Say that again.
$16,000 to $18,000 for service-oriented type work. And the reason why we bring these facts and figures to you here on Karriem and Company is because, man, we've got to do something. We can't stay in the same situation nationally nor statewide. We have to do something. We have to do something to create some sort of initiative with our young people. We've got to motivate them. We've got to do something about a defunct prison system. We've got to get economically and politically involved in terms of us doing something for ourselves. And the way that we have been conducted business, if we're going to survive as a people, we've got to change the playbook, because if we don't change the playbook, we are doomed.
Absolutely. University of Pennsylvania, Wharton School of Business, did some research by Professor Rosanov, and he says that Hispanics and African Americans tend to spend their money on things that can be seen, such as cars, clothes, jewelry, things of that nature, which the backstory is we're not being seen.
Right. And inward pain, inward suffering drives outward attention. And so we'll wear the loudest shirt, the loudest pair of pants, the tightest jeans, the biggest bling bling, the loudest color car, the biggest rims, because of all this inward pain. Our community suffers from a lot of inward pain. There's a lot of pain in our community. You can listen to the blues and you can hear that pain. You can listen to some gospel music, you can hear that pain. You can look at the reaction of how we react and how we deal with one another and feel that pain. And so we have to eradicate the pain. And matter of fact, that pain is keeping families from coming together. It's keeping us from unifying with each other. It's keeping us from trusting one another. So there's a lot of pain. That pain has led us to a learned hopelessness and helplessness.
Well, the sad reality is that you don't see in other communities, African American businesses thriving. I mean, we go to Chinatown, you're going to see Chinese businesses. This is not to celebrate hate or to throw shade on anybody,
right,
but this is a reality that we don't take into consideration. At one time, we were all that we had. I mean,
and we still are all that we have. We've just been deceived into believing that we got something else, you know. But let me just stick a pin here, because one thing that's an indictment on us, and listen, I commend Jay-Z and who is the other rapper that has the lawsuit?
Gotti.
Jay Gotti? Well, Gotti.
Something like that.
Yeah, Gotti and Jay-Z, commend them. But here's what the indictment is. The problems in Mississippi's prison system, the problems in Parchment, the problems in Greene County and every other place in Mississippi has been going on for a long, long, long time. I mean, ever since the origin of Parchment, it has always been a plantation where men have suffered at the hands of oppressors and inhumane treatment. So you're talking about for many, many years, for over 100 years,
yes,
that this treatment's been going on. The indictment on us is, why do we have to have somebody from 1,800 miles away bring attention to a situation that is right in our backyard?
A very good question. And just to piggyback,
and I didn't mean to jump.
No. But that's a very good point. To piggyback, question I'd like to raise is, do we have a poverty mentality? I mean, you think back when we had nothing, we made more inventions. We invented the gas mask,
the stoplight, the refrigerator,
yes,
or the icebox rather, the vacuum cleaner,
the cell phone, the computer,
the broom that you sweep with.
So we can go on and on. The baby carriage, the bicycle, and this is fact. You can go look it up, check it out. But now that we are so-called integrated, where we can ride the bus or eat at a lunch counter, we've seemed to gone backwards in terms of our participation in society and how we see ourselves in the greater scheme of things.
Well, too much assimilation. You know, when you assimilate with someone that is different than you have a tendency to forget about who you are and about your roots and about yourself. And this is what we're going through. You know, we've even had family folk that's 1-2 generations removed from us. I don't want to hear about that Black history stuff, or I don't want to hear about that empowerment stuff, you know. And that is the basic general attitude of a lot of young Black Mississippians. They don't want to get involved. They don't want to hear it. They just want things of pleasure. They just want to eat, sleep, and tingle the senses. And
quick gratification.
Yeah, quick gratification. And it's leading to our demise. And so one of my appeals today, and I'm pretty sure all of my brothers share in this, is young people are very, very important. I was talking to some gangster disciples. Yes. I was talking to some vice lords. It has gotten to the point now where some of the gang members, a great majority of them, don't know how they come or don't even know why they're in a gang. They don't know about the Nation of Islam, which was the original nation, or the Black Panther Party, or the 5 Percenters, you know, you know, or the Royal 21, King David, Larry Hoover, all that. They don't know anything about the Black Pete Stone Rangers from 68th and Blackstone, the Woodlawn Project, and so this, this is my appeal. My appeal today is, if you're listening to Karriem and Company, if you're a young person, which I know we're social media oriented, we want to reach one, teach one. We want you to spread this broadcast, because we're going to be, as they would say, spitting knowledge to you.
Yes.
But we're for the upward mobility of our people. We're attempting to reach our young people, because our young people are the key. When we talk about Medgar Evers, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all of those men were young men that led young movements and got young people involved. All of them were dead by the time they were 39 years of age. The fact of the matter is, if our young people are not doing nothing, if they're not upwardly mobile, if they're not positive, if they're not agents of change, then we're not going to do anything.
Absolutely, and they're the future.
Right. And so we want you to call us and write us, you know. We want you to tune into this broadcast. We want you to internet blast us to everyone that you know, as we get into these subjects, delve into these subjects, from blacks in the Bible to the origin of gangs to how can we become economically viable. Why is it important to farm? Why is it important for us to own our own banks? And why is it important for, if you've been dealing drugs, and I was talking to a couple of drug dealers today, they said they're tired of the game. Don't see a win-win situation in it, you know. Well, I said, well, hey, brother, why don't you just get out while you're ahead? Before you're dead or before you're in prison, start you a legitimate business. And I just want to say this, and I'm going to turn it back to you, because the best drug dealer will make the best businessman.
That's right.
The best hooker will make the best healthcare worker.
Say that again, man. Say that again.
The best drug dealer will make the best businessman. And the best hooker, prostitute, you know, that know what Uncle John need, will make the best healthcare worker.
And I submit to you, if we just get off the plantation with that mentality, turn those things around, you'll see more of that, more of your community, but it starts with the self first. My brother, I've got to pause for the cause and pay some bills. Right now, I'd like to mention Brother Roy Hicks.
Yeah.
Brother Roy Milton Hicks has a ministry. It's called Cans for Kids.
And you know what? I like that slogan, Cans for Kids, and yes, we can.
Yes.
And we believe that's a very, very positive thing, where he is trying to get church members involved.
That's right.
He's trying to get the whole community involved, and explain a little bit how the Cans for Kids work, or yes, we can.
The loose change can be used as scholarship money. Don't wait until the child is in the 12th grade or in college. Start right now. That loose change adds up quickly. And he believes that somehow, some way, no act is too little that you can get involved. That's Roy Hicks. You can call Mr. Hicks at 662-889-7372.
That number again, 662-889-7372. Mr. Roy Hicks. Special shout out to you, and we thank you for your support of Karriem and Company.
Absolutely. Also, hey, if you want to eat good in the hood, what do?
You better come to Helen's Kitchen.
708
15th Street North.
That's right.
Where our mama's soul food cooking comes from our mama's kitchen straight to you.
And you'll be better fed.
You heard that. Dollars a head at Helen's Kitchen.
Come on down and get you some.
Get you some. We eating good
in the hood. How about that?
Yeah, yeah.
Look here. Also, one more person I'd like to meet is Brother Bill Blewett with Blewett Enterprises. He's a very spiritual, gifted person.
And let me just plug this here. He's a business entrepreneur.
That's right.
He thought enough about us to be one of our supporters here at Karriem and Company. Business products, paper products, things that you need for your business distribution. Go to Brother Blewett. Brother Blewett will take care of your business needs, and you should give him a call.
That number is 662-251-9458, 662-251-9458.
And one of the things I want to mention about Brother Blewett, consistent brother, been out here for a long time.
That's right.
Whether he made $1 or whether he made $1,000, I mean, he was satisfied, said, thank the Lord for what I made, because it's more honor in making a dime for yourself than somebody giving you $1 million.
And that's one other thing I want to say before we go to our next topic is that whether we like it or not, second behind the #1 employer of black people is black-owned businesses. The government is #1. Black-owned and operated businesses is #2. So that's why you should support people who look like you do. And if you can't help yourself, you can't help anyone else.
And my appeal today is, we have come up in so much poverty in Mississippi. We have been born into generations of abstract poverty. And as I said, those figures, the average median income for those who are working between $16,500 and $18,000 a year, which plunges us to be the poorest state in the nation. The good news is we don't have to buy into that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to accept things because they exist.
That's right.
You don't have to accept things the way they are, and then life is a bitch and then you die. I mean, that is not the norm. That's not what civilized and intelligent people do. What civilized and intelligent people do is they stand up for one another. They love for one another. They fight for their community. They raise their children, and they manage their community, and they manage their own economics. My brothers and sisters, we're not doing none of those.
Yeah, that's called the counter narrative. You know, society says one thing, but you counter that with something else. Let's talk about the youth before we get into Bloody Sunday. You made some good points in our opening. By the way, if you like this channel, please hit the like button. Also subscribe.
Subscribe to us.
Tell someone else to tell someone else about Karriem and Company.
And you know what? Since we've been on, we need 1,000 plus subscribers. We're working on it. We're almost there. But we need those 1,000 plus subscribers so we won't get any kind of flack from YouTube, any kind of flack from Facebook, any kind of flack from internet, because you know they don't like us feeling and talking this kind of way.
Right. The youth.
That's right.
The youth.
So you know, in talking about our youth, first of all, as we are departing Black History Month, one thing that we have to keep in mind about that movement was full of young people. It was young people who were on the picket lines. It was young people, teenagers that were sitting in at the counters. It was young people who were marching, who did that march at Bloody Sunday. It was young people that stood behind Medgar Evers on the steps of the state capitol in Jackson, Mississippi. And each and every one of the leaders, whether it was Medgar Evers, who was dead at 39, Martin Luther King, who was dead at 39, Malcolm X or El Malik El Hajj El Shabazz, who was dead at 39, Muhammad Ali, who was the champion of the world at 22. Okay? See, so young people had a movement. Right now, our young people are not mobile. We're not upwardly mobile. And so it's very, very important that our young people get involved. It's very, very important that our young people register to vote, that you have a voice, that you get involved in your community organizations, that you get involved in your schools, and if you're a young person going to school, that you get your schoolwork out.
Absolutely, I agree with that. One of the things that we've done years and years back, we sort of broke down the music that people listen to in terms of the movement that was going on. Now, if you listen to the music, there's not much of a movement that's going on. Back in the day, you had them black and I'm proud.
Soul music. That's why they called it soul music.
Soul music, because it represented the inside and the movement and the spirit of people at that time.
Well, brothers and sisters, what actually happened for economic reasons is, if a CD sells for $17, the rapper or the one that's performing on that CD does not even get 12 cents off of every CD sold. Now, this is a known fact that Michael Jackson, who was the #1 CD seller in all of the world, and at the time of his death, I believe a CD was about $16. But Michael Jackson was the highest paid performer, getting the most off of every CD at 49 cents. So for economic reasons, white people that control the record industry took the soul out of soul music, took the story out of rap, made a difference in a split between rap and hip hop, and so now we have lost the modus operandi to our struggle.
Yeah, the movement.
We've lost the movement to our struggle.
Yeah.
Now we just want to cuss, which is the language of poverty. We want to be disrespectful to women. We want to advocate criminal behavior, which feeds a criminal penal system, which in turn makes us a modern day slave.
You know, there's an old adage that says, make a offering black youth to make music about building cities. That's not going to happen. Offer them to make music about positive thoughts, building up the community. That's not going to happen. About killing animals. That's not going to happen. About killing police. That's not going to happen. Killing each other.
Oh,
well,
definitely will happen.
It's going to happen.
Get out there.
So there is a spirit in terms of music. Something Dr. King said I'd like to bring to the forefront. He uses a term called thingification. Thingification, or we call it commodified humanism, is when you make human beings an objective. They become non-human.
Right, for monetary purposes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that's what's happened to our music, our entertainers, our sports figures. They've become objective figures, and all of them are money makers nowadays.
Right. So nowadays, and I see the cycle, because now we're beginning to have children that have entered into the educational arena as teachers and administrators in this system. And what we're noticing is that the school systems are being farms for the penal system.
Yes.
And the welfare system.
Yes. So you have to question if true education is happening.
Yeah. You know, for instance, why does a grandma, a daughter, and her daughter all have to live in the projects with the dope man, and the dope man servicing all of them? Okay. Or why would a 18, 19, or 20-year-old have 5, 6, and 7 children?
And why is the father absent in that scenario?
Yeah. And this is a whole nother subject, but I gotta hit it here. the feminization of black men.
Watch out.
Yeah, the feminization of black men. In other words, turning you into something other than a man, where you become so dependent upon a woman that you don't stand for nothing. You won't work. You can't go through any kind of adversity. You're real bitchy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to fuss and raise hell about everything, and you fight and don't get along with one another, and don't like women.
Or you don't respect authorities that are male figures.
Right. Or don't respect authorities that are male figures. So we're going, you know, all of this, and it's going to take all of us to get out of this, whether it's economically, spiritually, mentally, educationally. It's going to take every last one of us. It's going to take us working together. It's going to take a whole host of ideas. It's going to take leadership by commission in order for us to get these things done. One of the reasons why my brothers and I, we have this program is so that we can share with you, spit knowledge to you, but then you could also feed back to us.
You know, I want to talk on that maybe in our next segment as far as the feminization of our community. That's happening in the water, in the food we eat, and some things that Dick Gregory said in terms of malt liquor. So I'm going to be talking about that in the future.
But very quickly, though, so that people will recognize the urgency of that, let me just touch on what a food desert is. If you live in a community or a neighborhood, don't have transportation, and all you have is a corner store, and your furthest or your closest place where you can get wholesome food might be 2 or 3 miles away, well, there's a corner store or corner market there with no produce. They've got hook cheese, they've got souse meat, they've got canned meat, potted meat, they've got
salted food, ramen noodles.
Right, but they mostly are emphasizing you drinking the 40 ounces and buying the cigarettes.
Right.
That's how these stores thrive. So we'll talk about that next week, about so many food deserts, the importance of us having wholesome food, and the importance of the black farmer.
And that's really important, because when we went from the breast to the bottle, we also created a disintegration in the social fabric of the family, as well as the increase of disease, diabetes in our family.
Yeah,
so we're going to talk about it.
Right, because we made the cow our mother.
Anyway, once again, hit that like button. YouTube, we'd like to hear from you. Also, subscribe to YouTube, Karriem and Company. Hey, we're counting on you to like us, bringing you information each and every day. With the time we have remaining, brother, we just want to talk about Bloody Sunday, 1965, March, Selma to Montgomery, Alabama.
And I mean, a horrific day in terms of our people demonstrating nonviolence, trying to be agents of change. They were overrun by the police. They were bludgeoned.
55 years ago.
Yeah, women were stomped on. They were beaten. Men were beaten. They resulted in a few severe injuries and even death on Bloody Sunday. But if it had not been for the courage, the tenacity, the willful mindedness of those young men, old men, women, and children who wanted to stand up on it, if it had not been for that, we would not have some of the gains that we have now. And so how dare you say that you don't want to vote? How dare you say that you don't want to do anything for yourself?
That was about the Voting Rights Act, and the sound off for that march was a brother by the name of Jimmy Lee Jackson. Jimmy Lee Jackson was a deacon. He was an Army veteran, was shot by a state trooper.
Killed.
Fowler died 8 days later, shot February 18th, 1965. But his shooting set off a number of protests at that time. Actually, he was a student at Alabama State, and they were having a protest, shot by a state trooper. Fowler was later convicted of manslaughter in 2005.
Sentenced to 5 months in prison, is that right?
That's it.
5 months in prison.
In 2010.
White privilege, there you have it. Let's do a
He
shout
was
out.
unarmed too, by the way.
Let's do a shout out again to those that want to support us.
Yes.
And keep this broadcast rolling.
Absolutely.
And those that want to email us, okay? Mailing address, if you care to send us a donation, please feel free. 708 15th Street North, Columbus, Mississippi, 39701. And if you care to email us, you can send us an email at
mindfulness365@gmail.com. Mindfulness365@gmail.com. I'd like to hear your comments, questions, or complaints. Hey, I'd love to hear it. There's no such thing as a silly question. The only silly question is the ones that you
not
don't
asked.
ask. Right.
The ones not asked. And remember, ignorance is bliss, so they say. But life without knowledge is the same as death.
We're going to continue with the historical facts because we've never just ended it because of a Black History Month or someone said that it was over.
No, we got Black History going on 365. That's
Absolutely.
how we keep it 100.
That's right. Absolutely. Also, I'd like to send one other shout out to, did we do Bill Blewett?
Yes, we did. But I just got one and you all give him all of your support. Our brother Karriem, State Representative, District 41. He's down there working hard, and then sometimes it seems like no one cares. If you can, drop him a line. Give him a call, 662-400-0873. Just give him some words of encouragement, because with the type of attitude down there, those old stogies and old rednecks, sometimes it seems like it's a hopeless situation in a world where we're trying to get freedom, justice, and equality.
Also, veterans, if you have problems hearing, you served in the U.S. military between the years of 2003 to 2015, you may be eligible for a cash, that's right, a cash
money, period.
That's right.
You know, if you got ringing in your ear, you got what's called tendonitis. You need to give us a call. You know, only two have responded. Only 2 people have responded. And listen, I know it's been more of you all that have been in military service between 2003 and 2015. Y'all come on and give us a call.
662-491-1683
662-491-1683 or 662-435-3732. Go ahead and fill out that paperwork. Get your money today. It's waiting on you, but it's for a limited time only.
There's a lot of work to be done. We're counting on you. We're doing our best to bring it to you. Hey, here, every day, live, on the weekends especially.
Karriem and Company.
That's right. As we continue to impart light, facilitate vision, fuel empowerment, and always, always inspire action. We'd like to hear from you. Hey, we got some information after this broadcast that if you like this broadcast and you want to see more of it, let us hear from you.
And hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button.
That's right.
Thank you all. God bless you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.